Hey, in this training, I'm going to go through how to master bidding strategies on Amazon PPC. Okay, so it really comes down to, or the way that I like to set everything up is confidence level. I like to stick to the basics. I don't like to overcomplicate anything. The main idea and main premise behind this is the more confidence you have, I want to be spending more money or spending more on targets. However, the less confidence you have, you want to be a lot more conservative. What ends up happening is you spend money on your best performing targets, and you spend less money on your underperforming targets. So if you do this enough times, your PPC will become pretty efficient and effective. And this is basically how I approach it. So if you take a look, I kind of have a little bit of diagram here, and it's basically the path. So I think of this as a life cycle for a target. So if I had one target and I just launched it on Amazon, we fall right here in this first step. So what do we have here? We basically have a target that has no visibility, and we have no known confidence, or we have no relevancy information. So we don't know if this thing is going to convert well for my product, but it's a target that I plan to send some traffic to. So what I will try to do, or the bidding rule that I will try to implement, is called inch up bidding. So generally the concept there is you want to start at a low bid and you bring it up slowly in order to reach the bottom of when you would receive impressions or clicks. Because you can get traffic paying $1.50, but you can also get traffic paying 50 cents. So that's the concept. It might take a little bit longer, and the reason why I want to do this is because I have no confidence in this target at all. So I wouldn't want to spend $1.50 times 10 as 10 clicks, as opposed to paying 50 cents times 10 clicks. There's a significant difference in cost between those two. But if you times this by hundreds, thousands of keywords, then you're spending a lot of money on targets that you're not that you don't really have that much confidence over. So why? I have no confidence, no traffic. So the bidding type here is conservative. So it's essentially what I just discussed there. Then let's just say now the target is starting to get some traffic. You found the bottom of that target where you're getting impressions and you're getting clicks. Now we have visibility, but we have no known relevancy. So that means we don't have any orders, and but we know that we're at the bottom and we have visibility for it. So I use a bidding rule called target bid or revenue-based bidding. This is a pretty common formula that most people use. They basically take revenue over clicks times by your desired ACOS. So when you perform that, where you don't have any orders, so that obviously kind of doesn't make any sense because you have no revenue. However, in this case, we're using price as if we had one order. So we can do that calculation, and when we do that calculation, we're left with a bid that will be the highest amount we're willing to pay in order to get that desired ACOS that you're trying to get. And again, at this point, we have no confidence here because we haven't triggered any orders, but we're getting a ton of traffic for it, or we're at the point where we can get traffic for it. So we want to increase the style of bidding. So this is what I'm going to be calling moderate bidding. And then once we start to drive more traffic here, so I have a target now, I might have 5, 10 clicks on it. Two things can happen, either A or B. So it has visibility and has high relevancy, which basically means I'm starting to convert on this thing. Or it has high visibility but no relevancy. So when this happens, then now I have no confidence and I hit my click threshold. So I no longer want to spend on this because I have a maximum amount of money that I want to spend on a target. So in this case, I have a click threshold. So once it hits this click threshold, I want to set the minimum bid. And the reason why you want to do that is so that it doesn't trigger for any more impressions and basically shuts the target down. So we do this by what I call negative bidding. So you can do this using negative targeting, but negative bidding is just another foolproof way to make sure that it actually happens. So when you're talking about sponsored product, you might be bidding 2 cents. If you're talking about sponsored brand video, 10 cents, so on and so on. So that's kind of the concept there. And then let's just say it did have visibility and it does have high relevancy. We then are using the exact same formula, but we're actually using the real revenue because this thing might have gotten 2, 3, 4, 5 orders over 10, 15, 20 clicks. So you can calculate revenue, divide that by your clicks, and then multiply that by your desired ACOS. So a lot of people will call that target ACOS. That bid right there is going to be the highest amount that you're willing to pay in order to reach that ACOS that's desired. So if your real ACOS is above that target ACOS, it's going to start to bid it down in order to reach that ACOS. If it's lower than that target ACOS, it's going to start to bid up. So why that's effective is it's simple, easy to understand, and it does what you want it to do. You're getting closer and closer to where you want your target ACOS to be. So at this level, we have a ton of confidence and we have a ton of traffic. So we want to be aggressive with our bidding. These will generally be the best of the best targets in your of all your targets, and you're going to spend most of your money here. So when you step back for a sec, what actually happens? Bad targets either start to get traffic at the lowest point, and then we go moderate bidding to get a little bit more traffic to kind of get the ball moving, and then we go aggressive if it works, and then or we shut it down with negative bidding to stop it altogether. You do this enough times, you're going to spend the least amount on targets, but be able to graduate on your best performing ones. So that's all theory. So we can go through a couple of examples of what actually happens in practice. So here's just a theoretical example. We have the strategy here. We have the clicks, selling price, orders. We have the base formula. So that's basically revenue per click. And then, so selling price divided by selling price multiplied by order divided by 3, which will then give you your bid here. This base formula is your selling price multiplied by selling price divided by clicks. That's how it is. Okay, so all the math is there. The only thing that we kind of said is a max bid, and I'll explain that as kind of when I go through this. So let's just say you have a brand new target. It has 0 clicks, and then you keep it at its bid of 50 cents, and then the next day it gets 1 click. It still hasn't reached our click threshold, so it didn't get enough clicks at 50 to 55 cents. So we keep waiting. I wait approximately 3 clicks before I start to move it into this moderate bidding stage. So you can see 50 cents goes to 55 cents, goes to 60 cents. So we're being very, very conservative. But being conservative here, we only spent so many, like $1.50 to get the 2 to 3 clicks that I wanted. So when I get to that point, then it's like, okay, I'm at the point where I can get some traffic now. I'm going to start to moderately bid. So by moderately bid, I'm applying that revenue per click formula, and then I end up getting a number that's not $1.25. So it's going to be higher than that. So when we do this, we're going to apply a max bid. So max bid or max bids on these strategies, it's the same concept. You want to have a higher max bid if you're more confident in the target. If you're not as confident, you want to limit the max bid, because generally for an unproven target, you don't want to be bidding more, in this case, more than $1.25. But if it's proven, then you're okay to bid higher to $1.75, etc. So that's kind of how that stacking works. So in this case, you can see that it's bidding $1.25, but as we gain more and more clicks, our base formula continues to drop. As our base formula drops, our bid is actually dropping. You can't see it here because of the max bid. However, this last click here, you can see revenue divided by clicks times by 30% gives you $1.12. So you can see as it gains more clicks and doesn't obtain an order, our confidence level is actually starting to drop. As our confidence level drops, so does our bid. Then all of a sudden we get one order, and then 2 orders, and then now our confidence level is going up. So we are now going to aggressively bid, but aggressively bidding up until our max bid. So you can notice it went from $1. We got 1 order, great. Then we got 2 orders the next day. It's like it went way up to $1.75. And then as time went on, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, we are still at 2 orders. So our confidence level is dropping, which then our bid starts to drop. And then all of a sudden we get a 3rd, and then a 4th, and then a 6th. And then you'll notice our confidence level increases. And then so does the actual bid itself. So that's generally the concept. When we look at it graphically, so this is the same data, and this is the bid. So you can see we're doing an inch up for the first 2. It's very conservative. And then over the next bid, we're moderately bidding. So we moderately bid here. It's capped off at that max bid. And then as time goes on, what we thought was performing wasn't performing as well. So then the bid starts to drop, which means we're paying later. But then all of a sudden we start to get more and more sales for these. So then the bid skyrockets again. So it skyrockets, and now we're very aggressive. Over time, if your history for your product or that target, like the conversion rate and selling price, they're all steady, then you're going to notice that the bidding is going to start to become very steady. But you can see the life cycle of this type of bidding style. It just follows that exact idea of applying confidence as a level to where you want to be bidding. And this is the main concept. If you can understand this, you can master bidding, because the bid will always be exactly where you want it to be. And it becomes a very efficient system. So here's another example. I'm just gonna go through this pretty quickly. Same idea, you do inch up, and then you got target bid 0 orders for a while. And then all of a sudden it started to get some orders. So it went through a phase of conservative bidding. Then it went moderate bidding right here. But then over time, it wasn't getting any orders, so it started to drop. Then as it dropped, all of a sudden we started getting a bunch of orders. So then it started to skyrocket and skyrocket and skyrocket. So it's finding that placement, and then it will start to bid higher in order to reach your target ACOs. And then here's an example of a negative bidding. So we have a bunch of inch ups, and then it never ended up making any orders, and it hit our click threshold of 15. So when this happens, we are conservatively bidding, and then all of a sudden we got enough traffic after 5, for instance. And then we went to moderate bidding, and then after moderate bidding, it just didn't perform. We just got more clicks, did not get any more orders. So it started to drop and drop and drop to the point where this down here ends up being a negative bid. It gets applied to this, and then I'm going to set this target to now 2 cents. So if you look at it in the graph, it would go from whatever this last one is, 60 cents, down to 2 cents. So you effectively shut down the target so that it no longer gains any more impressions and any more clicks. So yeah, so basically just to kind of recap, if you treat every target and think about it in terms of confidence level, then you can apply the same bidding type, which will then you'll then create an ecosystem that's going to be very effective and very efficient. So hopefully you learned something new today. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, comment. Thank you.